See, you got the MasterCard of life in you, and it's so true, it is past due. So don't let nobody deceive you. A braboni a ding crack, I say any that's so hot. So this is what you should do. Shall I still move?
Make us work on many. Make us work on many. Make us work on many. Make us work. Make us work. Make us work on many. Make us work on many. Make us work on many. Make us work. Make us work.
I realized the way. Big shout outs to the government. Of the How are you fighting Galamsey? Like, thank you. When I say Galamsey, you all say no about Basi. Galamsey. Have I answered your question? But Atanos was better. We're getting jokes. Later, Atanos is so rested. You asked Atanos, how are you fighting Galamsey? Thank you for asking that question. I will be some question. What friend would then? What friend Napoleon Atukito? Would I let you want to Galamsey or her? And the wolf yourself. And it was quite okay with President Kufuor. You know, President Kufuor, he never answered any question in his time, but you can't even tell whether he answered or not because he's a slow talker. Mr. President Kufuor, how are you fighting Galamsey in your region? Thank you. Ghana, we are fighting Galamsey after 3 hours. Let me summarize. He said, who has another question for Mr. President? Here, the journalist. Mr. President, please create a WhatsApp group. We'll forward the question to you. But we liked it during President Rawlings. You know, President Rawlings can never answer a question and without taking you back to history when he was fighting with the revolution vibe. Mr. President Rollins, how are you fighting Galamsey with your government?
Thank you for asking me this question. In the days of the revolution, that was when I met my wife. Nana Jema Kunedu, tuntum sayo, makuma bombe, boom, 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 boom. Pendisi wufudua pa ni ye piano na sugana dia wufudua pa ni ye kitedua ne ye jina ho na ye de wawutu. Have I answered your question?
Who are you to say, Papa J? You've not answered. You have to just accept it like that. We're in the COVID era, and it's bad. It has affected business. Comedians, we are all struggling, you know. And we heard that Chinese people went into some Wuhan, forest called Wuhan, and they chewed monkey, and I don't know. This thing happened. So where I come from, we chew monkeys. So when COVID came, I was very particular about what I take into my body, because who knows, I might get COVID. So I met my auntie preparing soup with monkey. And I said, Auntie, why are you doing this? Because of COVID, we are not supposed to take stuff like this. I'm like, small boys are young. I steamed it with sanitizer. I said, how did you do that? It's crazy. All right, so thank you. I'm happy to be here, and I hope you enjoy yourself. My name still remains Lexi the Comic. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Lexi. So it'd be like the fufu. No, did you chop them?
Oh, no.
Oh, you don't chop them? How?
No,
Because the woman tried for when they cook the food for you, you know if you chop
I
them.
think with some of the things they tell us about COVID, they should be very particular, because people think sanitizer
Can do all things.
all things.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Yeah.
So you didn't eat the
No, I didn't, please.
But then, definitely that was so exciting. So what inspires you when you're doing your pieces? What's your source of inspiration?
I would say my life.
Okay.
I've been through a lot, and this is the only thing I resort to just to ease up some of the things I go through. So I write my experience, and the things around me inspire me to put whatever I do together to make people laugh. And the end product with you laughing, such a great woman, makes me feel like, yeah, I have that thing still in me that I can reach out to more people, great people. Because if I can make you laugh, I can make Hillary Clinton or anybody out there laugh.
Anybody out there laugh, because your craft is great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I know you'll be back on and I know the people on our Facebook page as well as our Zoom page will be shouting right now. I say that, in fact, the thing now, let's stop and let you do the whole show by yourself. Thank you so
All
much,
right,
Lexi.
thank
That was Lexi the Comic. And if you know and you want to laugh, please, the show is full of laughter. So be here. Don't go anywhere. You are welcome to today's program. Today is Springboard Call Hangout is brought to you courtesy the Springboard Roadshow Foundation in partnership with Solidaridad and the MasterCard Foundation. You know, personal branding plays a key role in what you do, where you go, and what you will become. And I say that personal branding without digital branding is like eating fufu without any soup. Lexi ignored his soup, but this one we have to get the soup and eat the fufu properly. So tonight on your favorite Thursday night hangout, we are hanging out with Mr. Okran, God Okran, as well as with Yao Kuonu. These two gentlemen have something under their sleeves. Their sleeves are bigger than mine. They have something under their sleeves that we will definitely glean from when we come back. You know, last week, 2 weeks before, we had looked at how to climb the ladder. And then last week, we looked at your cover letters. Today, we are looking at how you present yourself mentally, physically, and every way. And tonight we are talking about personal and digital branding. On your Springboard Core Hangout, you can't afford to miss out. So if you have any friend anywhere who has not yet heard of this program, it is your duty to get in touch with the person. But I want to encourage you, call a friend to come and listen to us. And most importantly, send us your messages, your comments and so on and so forth. I would like to know, where are you watching us from today? So if you are in Ghana or you are outside Ghana, let's know which city you are watching us from. I know that today is going to be a really, really top-notch show, so don't go anywhere. Right after this commercial break, we will come on with the rest of the program. Don't go away.
Are you a young person dealing with the disruptions caused by COVID-19 to our careers, education, health, and social lives? Welcome to the CORE program, an e-learning, e-mentoring, and e-counseling program designed to equip you with diverse skills to enable you to thrive now and even beyond this pandemic. We encourage you to download the video, audio, and workbook for each episode for free on the CORE program website, www.core.com.gh. If you are an MTN user in Ghana, you can download all videos, audios, or workbooks on our website without using your data. It's completely zero rated. And here's the bonus benefit: if you register on the website and go through a minimum of the 20 of the 24 sessions before the end of November, you will qualify for a certificate of completion from the CORE program. We will be very excited to hear from you. Post your questions and comments on our social media pages at CORE program, or send them to us on the CORE WhatsApp hotline 0551 535 533. CORE, learning together, growing together.
Welcome back to the Springboard Core Hangouts, your favorite Thursday night hangout. This program promises to be really exciting because we are going to merge the personal as well as with the digital to brand ourselves for the world the world of work. You know, we are continuing our job readiness series, and today it is about branding and branding from head to toe, from inside out. Everywhere that you look is branding. So we have two lovely gentlemen in the studio. We first have, to my extreme right, I have Gad Okran. Gad is a founder and is a digital marketing professional and founder of LinkedIn Career Growth Sessions. My friend, if you want to get a job, you know that LinkedIn is one of the primary places if you want to get a job. So therefore, let's follow Gad, because he will show us how. And not just the how, the why, and not just the why, when, and every WH or H word that there is in between. He's also working as head of marketing of M-Pharma and facilitator of the executive social media course in Kufredua Technical University. You know, anywhere that you look, whether you look at Joy or wherever, he has been there as well. He holds a master's in digital marketing. So, ladies and gentlemen, whether you're on Zoom, as I said, let me know where you're joining us from today, Zoom, on Facebook, do stay here as we listen to Gad Okran as he takes us through personal and digital branding. Gad, we are listening to you, please.
Okay.
Yeah, focusing on digital branding, so let's hear you.
Okay, so I think that when it's come to digital branding, I would say is a composition of two things. Who you are, that is having a complete profile about who you are on social media, and also what you want others to know about you. So these are the combination of these are the two things that define personal branding. But when it's come to you uncovering job opportunities using social media or using any of the digital channels, I will want to begin with the personal testimony of how I did it. So right from level 300, I was able to use LinkedIn to get jobs even up to date. And what I did is that there's a framework that I use, and the framework is composed of 3 things. The first one is to undertake audience research. So when you are going on social media as a job seeker or even as a career professional, you need to have in mind that you are going to engage in communities of interest. In other words, you are going to be connecting with others. So you need to define the kind of people you want to connect with. And for a job seeker, obviously, in going to LinkedIn, you are basically targeting top companies that you want to connect with or you aspire to work with. You are also targeting the key influencers within this organization that may be involved in the hiring decision. So be it the HR unit of the organization or the HR heads, or be it even the CEO of the organization itself. And the third one is that in going on social media to grow your career, it's not just about job, it's also about what? Learning and development. So you need to be, you need to also define the kind of personalities. Probably you are a marketer and there are seasoned marketers on LinkedIn or on Facebook that post a lot of insights around marketing that you want to follow and learn from. So these are the 3 things that you need to basically take into consideration. You need to have those people you want to engage, your target audience in mind. Then the 4th one will also be that once you're identifying the people that you want to engage, you need to also focus on groups that you want to join. So I've said that social media is community driven and groups are subsets of communities. So when you go on LinkedIn or Facebook, there are groups around a group that is active that normally generates a lot of engagement. So this is very key because in joining groups on social media, you don't just use the group size in terms of the number of people joining the group as a criteria to join a group, but you also want to know the number of active interactions or conversations that happen. Because in digital business and social media business, we say that in every community or environment where there's a lot of activity or interaction, information flow becomes higher. And information flow is key because whilst you participate in conversation in these groups, you aim to be notified. So if the group has a lot of interactions, there's a high possibility that you can be notified. Then the second element in the framework is social media account optimization. That means that now you know the kind of people you want to engage and you need to, first of all, fill out your profile by determining the channels that you want to be on. So if it is LinkedIn, you need to have a complete LinkedIn profile about who you are. And to do that means that you need to define your purpose. So in filling out your profile, first of all, your profile is going to contain your information on your resume. And I'm sure you've been taught about how to develop resume or a CV. However, within the context of social media branding, one of the key things that you need to do is that you need to highlight your past success stories. Because at the end of the day, the purpose of having a profile is that you want to attract a potential company to work for. So the company will be interested to know what are some of the past achievements that you've had. 2, the company will also want to know what has been your major contribution around the landscape that you represent. The company will also want to know what are your career goals and personal goals going forward. And beyond that too, there's also what we call keyword optimization. Keyword optimization here is that if you need to make sure that your cover letter or your summary on your profile actually gets, is basically, it highlights some of the keywords that represent your career. In other words, some of the keywords that people can identify you with. So for example, if you're a digital marketing person, you may want to use words like social media strategist. You may want to use words like SEO specialist and co. Because what happens is that once all these keywords or all these elements are in your profile, it also makes it easier for your profile to be discovered. So assuming I go on LinkedIn and I search for digital marketing professional or a social media strategist, because all these elements are parts of your profile will basically pops up. Then I'll be able to view your profile and engage with you. The last thing in the framework is prospecting and engagement. So once you now have your profile and you now have a complete profile about who you are, you now have to engage. And indeed, when it's come to digital branding and uncovering job opportunities and using social media, the key element has been that you need to always be connecting. So now you need to engage with others. So you need to engage in conversations with others by liking and commenting on people's posts and contributing to conversations around your industry. One of the things that you need to also do is that you need to also prospect by reaching out to people. So yes, if there's a company you aspire to work with, or if you know any HR professional within an organization and you feel that you have what it takes to help them solve a particular problem they are looking for, you could also reach out to them. But more importantly, when it's come to prospecting and engagements, is the fact that you need to also listen. So listening is one key thing. So how do you listen? You're listening by monitoring for conversations around your industry. So for example, as a digital marketing person, I normally listen around social media keyword. So the keyword can be in form of a hashtag, whereby I just go on LinkedIn, I type hashtag social media, and I look out for conversation around it. So some of these conversations are conversations that can will help me build my personal brand. In these ways, one, I will be able to contribute to effective conversations around my industry. Two, some of these conversations may also involve a lot of hiring signals. It can be that there's a company that is actually looking to hire social media professional. And once social media is a keyword that you are monitoring, you'll be able to uncover this opportunity and engage with the person that is actually hired to initiate conversation, so on and so forth. So I would say that when it's come to digital branding, these should be the three things that you need to focus on. One, audience research, identify the people you want to engage with and also the groups you want to engage with. And that also include the platforms or the channels. So on the channels, as I said, we have LinkedIn, we have Facebook, we have Twitter, and all the social media platforms that you know. We also have other digital job boards like Glassdoor, Indeed, that you could actually sign up on. And the second one is that you need to now optimize your account. Have a complete profile about who you are. Tell a story about who you are and define your purpose. What do you want others to know about you? Then the last one is that you need to continuously engage with your community.
3. I mean, considering that they say we have God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit, the Trinity. Sir, God has opened up with a Trinity. Know your audience, have a complete profile, and engage your people. If you forget everything about digital branding, don't forget everything, please, I beg you. But you, just in case you forget because of issues, please remember, research your audience, know who you want to talk to, build a complete profile that shows you who you are. Make sure that what your industry is, whether it is animal husbandry, or maybe yours is machine welding, or yours is maybe interior decor. Make sure you have those keywords in that particular field. It makes you more findable. And then don't forget that, make sure that you engage. I'm saying engage 3 times because without the engagement, you know, it's like how the marketing people say that marketing without letting people know that you're doing something and not market is like winking at a girl in the dark. Nobody knows what you are doing except you yourself. So you know yourself, you have brought yourself out, but engage. Thank you so much, God. That was really, really insightful. And if you think I'm kidding, you listen to some of the information that people are sending us from on our various pages. So we have, please, the thing is plenty. Thank you. I love it. I love you all, because here you are. We have, I still can't. Okay, so we have Roland Jato. Oh, already the questions have come. The questions have started coming. So I have Princess Anna Smith, who is watching from UK. It's a long time since I saw you. Please make sure you reach out tonight, Princess. Thank you for being on board. We have David Ashong Adebraka, and then we have Charles Grantim Budu from Sunyane, and then Daniel Kwekudatson from London. And Princess says that I'm taking notes, and that should be for every single one, because I was also taking notes, because at least I put down 10 points, but because I have to finish talking quickly, so I just said 3. So we are on today. We have also Abba Yebua Krenzel, who says insightful. So our listeners on Zoom as well as on Facebook, please ensure that you let us know where you are watching us from. And additionally, do send us your questions. Raise up your hand on Zoom if you would like to patch in your own questions. When the time comes later on in the program, we definitely will call on you to ask your questions. So now we are firing. Lexi took us off on a brilliant note, and I'm full of joy. And now we've been told how to digitally brand ourselves. But you see, you remember I said that fufu without soup. So we just heard about the soup. Now, if you just take the soup to now, in about 30 minutes, you feel hungry again. There was a lot of meat. So yes, you could be fine, but it doesn't last too much. So we need the kabo. So now we are going to the personal branding. For personal branding, I have very, very privileged to bring to us today on the program Yakono. He is a communication strategist. And when I tell you, because I've worked with Yao on different projects, and whenever we talk about communication, we all stand up, at attention, and then he comes to take the floor. So today, ladies and gentlemen, on our various digital platforms, it is my privilege to introduce to you Mr. Yakono, who talked to us about personal branding.
Thank you very much, Comfort. I think you just elevated me to another level. But yeah, I'm very happy to be here tonight. And thank you all for joining, wherever you're joining from. I'm a communication strategist, and I'm quite passionate about branding as a subject. So tonight I will try to talk about personal branding in its lay form for everyone to understand. And I like the way God started by looking at the digital bit of it. Just like Comfort said, it's like eating fufu and soup. You've had the soup. Ideally, we should have made the fufu before the soup. But it's okay. Now let's talk about branding. What exactly is it? And this is where I wish this was interactive and I could ask you your thoughts.
You can. When you ask them the question, they will give it to us. They'll send us their information. So in case, when you ask the question, just respond on your various platforms, whether it's on Zoom or on Facebook. They'll patch in your answers, and he will speak to it.
Okay, great. So I like that approach. Wherever you are, what is branding and what does branding mean to you? Before we come to the other dimension of it, which is personal branding, right? So branding generally is just looking at the identity of anybody, an individual, an institution, any going concern, any living thing. What is your brand? Is what identifies you, is what makes you unique, is what makes you stand out. So it entails everything from how you look, to how you speak, to your thought patterns to even the unspoken language, your signs, your demeanor, all of that constitutes part of your brand. So basically, your brand is who you are. Okay? And branding applies across all facets of life. So it applies to institutions, it applies to individuals, it applies to concepts. All right? So that's basically what branding is. And now when you bring that to you as an individual, what is your personal brand? That means who are you? What do you stand for? How do you look? How do you position yourself? These are the questions that once you're able to answer, you're driving towards what a brand is or what your brand is. And in terms of building your own brand, it starts right from birth or right from childhood. What you like, what you do, how you think. Society plays a big role in building a brand or a personal brand. Where you were raised, the philosophy, your thinking philosophy, all of that constitutes part of your brand. So I'll try to chip in some examples. Let's say there is this young girl who is a DJ. I forget, do you remember her name? There's a young girl who's a DJ from Ghana. DJ Switch. As young as she is, DJ Switch, if I asked you, who is she? Perhaps your first answer would be, she's a DJ. Because that's who you see her to be. That's how she has portrayed herself to be. She has demonstrated that she can be a DJ and be a good DJ. She knows how to DJ. That's what we know about DJ Switch. So the first thing that will come to anybody's mind when you ask who is DJ Switch is that she's a DJ, right? Now, what kind of DJ is she? Because you probably have seen different kinds of DJs, right? What kind of DJ is she? Then you can delve into the details. She's a very passionate young girl, passionate about DJing. She loves her music and she knows how to mix music in a manner that will make you dance or make you move, right? All of that defines her brand as an individual. I have not interacted with her to know how she talks. I have not interacted with her to know her thinking pattern. But if someone did interact with her, they would know what she believes in, what drives her, what's her motivation, because it informs her actions and it projects who she is. So that's just an example of a personal brand, right? Now, how do you build a personal brand? First, you must be conscious and deliberate about it. But believe it or not, conscious or not, you are building some kind of brand. How you live your life, how you project yourself, how you carry yourself, how you present yourself, all adds up to your brand. But being conscious about it means looking at the different elements of the brand and paying attention to them. So first off, your looks, your outlook, all right? Do you want to present yourself as somebody who is decent or somebody who is scruffy? Either ways, it will form part of your brand. If you're scruffy, you're scruffy. If you're decent, you're decent, right? You also want to ask yourself, what do you want people to think about you when you speak? Okay? Do you want people to know that you know what you're saying or you don't know what you're saying? Do you want people to think that, okay, this person is deep or they're shallow, right? That's positioning yourself in terms of your thought pattern. Your philosophy is what guides your actions. So what do you believe in? And by belief, I'm not talking about just religion. I'm talking about your core belief, your value system, right? Do you even have value system? All of those things will form part of your brand. So being conscious and deliberate about building your brand is one way to build your brand. You must also be consistent. So it's not enough to appear very decent, sharp, and appear deep one day, and then the next day you dip. that won't take you anywhere. It won't build your brand. If at all, it will build the kind of brand that people will say, oh, this person fluctuates. Today they are this, tomorrow they are that. But being consistent is key to building a personal brand. So if you want to look sharp all the time, you want to consistently look sharp, right? If you want to speak well, you want to practice and consistently speak well. And that is what will form your brand. Remember that brands are not built overnight. Brands are built gradually over a long period. And it's a culmination of all the many different things that you do. And also, successful brands are authentic. Authentic in the sense that they are very true and through. And that's what you want to do if you are building a personal brand. You want to be authentic. You want to take your time and be thorough in how you project yourself. And then successful brands are also, what's the other word for integrity? Genuine, thank you. Successful brands are very genuine. And that is key because, again, your brand is who you are. Your brand is how you project yourself. Your brand is how you carry yourself. So if you are not genuine, remember, people will remember you for that. You're not genuine, right? And I don't know if that is the kind of brand you want to build. But for the topic we are discussing, job readiness, you want to be authentic. You want to be genuine. You want to have integrity. Your brand must project integrity. Your brand must also project some passion. Because again, if you're not passionate about what you do, it will form part of your brand. So you will be known as not being passionate. But to excel at the work that you do, you must be passionate. When you have done all of these things, then you can transpose this onto the digital media. That's when you project who you are on the digital media. So you cannot divorce your personal brand from your digital brand, because then you are not authentic, then you are not genuine, then you are not consistent, right? To be successful in the job market, to rise in the job market, you need necessarily to be consistent. Be deliberate about building your brand and be consistent about it. And you must have the qualities of integrity, of passion. You must have those qualities as part of your brand. And so I guess now we have looked at what constitutes the carbohydrates. As the conversation goes on, we will now look at how your personal brand integrates into your digital brand. But this forms the basis of building your own brand before you transpose that onto your digital brand. Thank you, Comfort.
That is the basis of what your brand, your personal brand stands for you. And making sure that you are authentic, making sure that you have an inside out perspective of personal branding and not just the physical outlook only. Ensuring that you don't blow hot one day and blow cold another day, but you're always on point. And if for some reason something goes wrong, it doesn't mean that you can't apologize and try to make up, because you stand for a particular thing, and that satisfaction must always be felt. That value that you choose to project to your people must always be felt when they come in contact with you. I'm sure those of us who like soft drinks, I don't know what soft drink you like, but whatever soft drink you like, if you are used to a particular taste, and one day you drink either the soft drink or the water, and the taste is different, you say immediately something has gone wrong. In the same way, when the person tastes you as a person, whether you are Kojo or you are Theophilus Owusu Ansaj, who is joining us from KNUSC, whoever you are, make sure that they know that when they interact with you, that value that you promise them, whether you promise it personally in your cover letter or your CV or in your digital marketing platform, they do get that person indeed. Today, we are talking about personal and digital branding for career success. And I believe that you have really enjoyed the presentations that we've had from Gad Okran and Yakono. I have promised Fiajibe joining us from a shaman in Lebanon on Zoom. Promise. Thank you so much. We have Adam Mustafa who is joining from Kaswa, and he says Kaswa is the gateway to Central Region. I agree with you, bro. It is very true. He says that indeed I'm learning a lot. It's awesome. Thank you, Adam Mustafa. And then on Facebook, we have Augustine Buama, who is joining us from Adrabraka and watching. He says that I'm watching you people live. Couldn't have missed this for anything. Thank you, Augustine. We are grateful. We also have Catherine Kloku. You are watching us from Kaswa. Kaswa is becoming a very hotbed. I'm very happy about that. Maybe Kaswa, for you will win something. Keep it going. Keep it going. We have Akosia Doma, who is also joining us from on Facebook and is joining us from Accra. And Akosia is also joined on Facebook. Akosia, thank you also for being there. And we have Romeo. We have Romeo here. Charlie, we have to find a. I don't know whether you have a Juliet already, but Romeo, Charlie, you are most welcome. He says that you are joining from the. Oh, thank you, Romeo. Definitely, Sunyani is the green city of my dreams. Thank you so much for joining from Sunyani. Thank you, Romeo. And then we have Clement Adavu, who is joining from Aveime, Bato in the Volta region. Clement, thank you very much for joining. We also have Isaac Jama, who is saying on Zoom that solid presentation, God and Yao. Solid presentation. It's not easy, actually. The thing. Anne is from Nungwa. Anne, thanks for joining us. And the beats definitely continues. And we have Alice Boaten, who is joining from Kofredwa, and her hashtag is the core effect. Guys, let it flow on your social media pages, the core effects or core hangout, because it has to trend today as well. You know, the conference people have thrown you people a challenge. On Tuesday, they trended number 5 in GH. So core hangouts, if you don't trend, but I know we will trend. So definitely, let's see the hashtag flowing all over the place. And then we have Nana Ernest who says that enjoying this great presentation. I'm from Tamale and you joined us as well on Zoom. It tells you that, you know, we have people joining us all over the place, from all over the country, and as well as from outside the country. The questions are flowing, and we'll start our question segment very soon. And Tempo also asking for Lexi. So Lexi, please be on standby. We'll come to you. I mean, you would also join us and give us, let us laugh a little whilst we get ready for our work on time. So let's see. Let me find out. God, you are the soup, and so we have put our social media presence well, and per your presentation we should look at not just the one face like just LinkedIn only, but we must look at other channels like Facebook, as Instagram and Twitter. So is it possible that I can be one personality on Facebook, and then when I go to Twitter I'm another person, and then when I go to LinkedIn I am the very serious person? Is it in fact, is it advisable? It's not possible, it is possible. Yes. But is it advisable for someone like that to especially if you are searching for a job, what kind of profile must you maintain as much as possible on your various digital channels? Okay, so I think the first thing is that your profile must highlight your position statement. What you want to be known for. But will that what the marketers call the USP? Yes. Okay, so you must have your unique selling proposition yeah. or your positioning statement, as you say. So please tell us a bit more about that USP, your unique selling proposition. Yes, so you should highlight, first of all, what you do and the end goal or the
a problem you are trying to solve. So probably you could say that I am a marketing person and I help businesses increase their sales. So that point is basically clear there. Then if you also have link to other portfolio or other works that you've done, you could also highlight those things there. If there are also communities that you also belong to, you can type those elements there. So maybe hashtag digital marketing Africa or etc. It can even be professional associations, hashtag ACCA, etc. Now, when it's come to the issue of having different identity representation, so on Facebook you are serious on this. One, it is advisable to do that, but the fundamental is that, so for example, personally, on Facebook, what I do is that I have 3 content map. The first content map is around my career, that is a serious. The second one is around what interests me. It can be anything, it can even be my church, my pastor, etc. And the third one is things around my community. It can be something is trending around my community, maybe Nigeria brutalities yes. With that one on your profile, personally, what you would do is that you may not use probably a profile picture that totally represents your professional outlook. So for example, if you're a banker on LinkedIn and you are wearing suits, on Facebook you can be a little bit casual. So without on your profile, beyond your positional statement, you can also highlight other social stuff that you are basically inclined to. You can basically do that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Your questions are flowing, and we are now going. I've put my questions aside, and I'm going straight to your questions. Right. So we have also every year you are special because, or say also every year because you are watching all the way from Kumerica, and you say nice one. Thank you very much, also. And we have Mark Sakite watching live from Kofredua. And your words are so beautiful. You say your words are gradually ending my day well. That's awesome. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much, Mark. Bra Anna Jr. from Pokrom in Saba. Thank you so much. And then we have Benson Ofori. Say that thank you for this presentation. It's a real eye-opener. And Ibrahim Jail, you are watching from Wale Wale in the northeast region. Thank you so much, Jail, for being with us. And finally, Emmanuel Dochi from Seshri Bia West District in Western North region. You say powerful and wonderful presentation. God bless you. You see, they didn't bless me, they blessed you. but it's great. But we say here from Eddie Kojo Setre from Facebook, you say that, is it appropriate to reach out to an HR manager on LinkedIn and straightforward speak to them about getting a job? What should we do right? Is it appropriate to reach out to an HR manager on LinkedIn and speak to them about a job? What should we do right?
Okay, so you don't go straight and launch. The whole idea about reaching out is to develop a relationship with the end goal of generating a positive outcome, be it a job or a business opportunity. So it needs to begin as an ongoing relationship. So in reaching out, the best way for you to be safe, because sometimes people are busy. So when you say hi, hello, they may not respond. So you can do what we call engagement triggers. The engagement triggers that it can be that the person is celebrating his or her birthday. So you launch on that to congratulate the person. It can be that the person just got a new job. And these are what we call key emotional life cycles that you can leverage on to establish the relationship over a period of time. So that is the best way to do that. But sometimes in even extreme circumstances, or for example, my current job at M Pharma, I went straight and emailed the CEO, and we had a conversation, that leadership. But that whole process was preceded by the fact that I have had ongoing engagement with his post.
Yeah.
So I engaged with his post and co, and by so doing, he has viewed my profile. And how the social media operations work is that the moment there's an engagement, you engage with someone post, there's a connection.
Yeah.
So by so doing, anytime the person publishes something, the person always sees it. So in that instance, it is assumed that the person already knows about you, and which in my case, it's reflected. But even with that, you need to approach the person with a complete solution. So as Jojo said in the previous episode, you need to go there with a solution. So I went there with a solution. I researched about the company and knew the problem and knew how I could basically help them. So in that instance, you can do that. But normally, you need to look out for engagement triggers. When someone views your profile, it's a trigger. You can launch on that to initiate a conversation. So that's what it can happen.
Maybe I'll just chip in. Think about it this way. In real life, you don't know this person.
No.
You just walk up to the person and you're telling them, because you know they are the HR manager, telling them, I want a job. It doesn't work that way.
No, yeah.
It really doesn't work. So in digital engagement, you must always think about it as though you were engaging physically. You're engaging in real life, right? Would you do that? Would you just walk up to an HR manager and say, hey, I want a job, I want this job? No. You would rather want to establish some relationship. You would rather want the person to know who you are and what you can do. And then build that relationship or that communication to the point where you can now say, oh, I've seen this job and I'm interested. But even on